Good morning, class. How are you doing today? Okay. So, please all rise for our opening prayer. Miss Cindy Rose, will you lead the prayer for us? Thank you. Please sit down. So, class, um, by the way, I want to introduce myself. So, I am Gianfranco Bienvenido, your teacher for today lesson. Okay? So, let us check our attendance first. Mr. Secretary, who are the absent today? Okay, so I'm glad that all of you are present today, and I hope that you will learn more today after our discussion. Okay, so for our classroom rules, so please always remember our classroom rules during our discussion. Is that okay, class? Okay. So, thank you. Um, Class, so before we proceed to our lesson, so how was our lesson last time? What have you learned last time um, from our discussion? So, my question is, when designing a performance task, what is the first thing that we should look at? Or, when we designing a performance task, ano yung pinakauna natin titingnan? Okay? Can someone will share or have an idea? Yes. Yes, that's right. And one of the things we will look at is the strength and the weaknesses of our student. So that is important. So that's part when we need to know what is their weakness and strength. So for enable for us to adjust for the assessment. Okay, so what should we consider when designing a performance task? So, anyone? Okay, so that is correct. So, what are the things that we need to consider? Or what are the steps when designing a performance task? Yes, Elaine, Maggie? Okay, thank you. So thank you for your sharing about what we have been discussed last time. So, class, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to please read explain the key components of GRASS model, analyze performance tasks to determine their alignment with the GRASS model, apply the GRASS model to create a well-structured performance task that align with specific learning objectives, and reflect on how the GRASS model enhances authentic assessment, including specific ways to implement it on the future by actively participating in class discussion. So that's for our objectives. So I hope we will fulfill our objectives. Okay, thank you. So class, um, today we will having our first activity. So this is the group 1 and this is the group 2. So what we have to do is like this. You will put the scenario, the first scenario here, and here the second scenario. So for group 1, you will put the first scenario here. So all you have to do is to put it in a sequence or yung pasunod-sunod niya. And for scenario 2, the group 2, so you will put the sequence of the scenario 2. So, ganito yung gagawin nyo. So, may bibigay akong isang papel, tapos dito naman isang papel, at dito, ilalagay ko dito yung kailangan yung buuhin na mga pasunod-sunod na scenario ito. So, magiging challenge siya sa inyo kasi hahanapin nyo talaga. At iintindihin nyo yung talagang pasunod-sunod niya. Okay? So, ilalagay nyo, halimbawa ito, yan, tapos yung sunod niya, and yung hanggang babuo yung isang scenario. Okay? So, ano nyo lang, i-paste nyo lang dyan. Okay? So, class, naintindihan yung aking instructions? Okay. So, ito sa group 1 and ito. So, yan yung nagiging basehan nyo para mabuo nyo yung mga scenarios. Okay, so, move! Okay, so the time is it's already time na para sa pag-create ng ating mga scenarios. Okay, so class, so based sa ating mga scenario, so i-check natin kung tama talaga itong mga kasunod-sunod na ito. Okay. So, from this scenario, what is your role here? So, ano yung role nyo dito? So you are a survey taker. And what is your purpose from this scenario? What is your purpose? Okay, so determine. So this is your purpose. So what are the survey respondents? Or who are the survey respondents? So your classmates. Okay. So what are your methods for your doing the survey? Okay. So, do you think your survey has a result? Has it results? So, what is the result? Okay. So, the correct data written in Excel. So, okay. Okay, so let's proceed to this second scenario. So, what is your rule here? Ano yung rule niyo dito? Yes, an intern. And what is your purpose? Okay. And who will you serve for the tour? So, sino yung pagsisildan niyo? Okay. So, what do you have to do to help them in the tour? So, ano yung magagawa mo para matulungan sila? Okay. Okay, so what did you do to make the tour successful? So, ano yung ginawa mo para maging successful yung tour? Okay. So, from these two scenarios, ano yung napansin niyo? Ano yung mga napansin niyo dito sa dalawang scenarios na ito? Dalawang situation na ito ang naging halimbawa natin. Okay. So, class, these two scenarios has a goal. So, may mga goal ba itong dalawang ito? What about the role? What about the audience? What about the situation? Has it the situation? What about the product or the performance? That is that does it has a product or the performance? Okay. What about the standards or the criteria? So, may standard ba ito? Itong performance task na ito. Okay? So, for our lesson today, so we will talk about the grasp. So, what is grasp model? So GRASS is a model for demonstrating performance of understanding using authentic assessment. It represents a framework for organizing, delivering, and assessing project assessment. Okay, so um, class, this GRASS framework or GRASS model, so it talks about the project-based performance. Okay, so GRASS has benefits for both the teachers and students. So for teacher, they will be guided in designing authentic assessment for their students. And for students, they can be developed through conducting GRASP to create a product or solve the problem effectively. Also, it enhances their social skills. Okay, so class, we will talk more about the GRASS model. So, um, so class, I'm going to show you a scenario again, and all you have to do is to analyze it, if it is a GRASS or not a GRASS. Okay, so here it is. So, class, this scenario, what can you notice? So, from this scenario, does it has um, a goal? So, it has a goal. Does it has a goal? What about the role for the student? So, do they have a role? What about the audience? So, do they have the audience in this scenario? So what about the situation? So this scenario has a situation. Okay. What about the product or performance? Do they have performance or product? Yes, it has. It has or none. Why? What about the product? That is has a product. Ano? The standard, that it has a standard. So the standard, the teacher will grade them based on their result about the grammar and completeness. So that is the standard. So class, so this scenario, do you think is this a GRASS model? No. No. Yes. So no. Okay, so another scenario. So I'm going to show you another scenario. So what about this? What do you think? So, does the scenario has it goal? Do they have a goal, the students? So what is their goal? How about the role? Their role. Okay. How about the audience? Do they have an audience to perform? Mm. How about the situation? So, what is their situation? Please. How about the performance? Do they have a performance here or the product? Okay. How about the standard? So does this task as a standard? Okay. So this is the standard. Okay. So, naintindihan ba? Naintindihan? Yung about dito? Ito sa scenario ito? So, are all of you agree that this scenario is a grass model? Are you? Yes. So, all of you is agree. Okay. For the last scenario. So, class, this scenario is a grass or not? Why? So, will you explain? How come that it is a grass model? Okay, so this scenario is not a grass. Maybe you can call it a gas without R. Okay, so class, please always remember that when we say a grass framework or a grass model, so it has the steps like this. The goal, the audience. So the goal is to establish the challenge, issue, or problem to solve. And its role is, their role, you can give them a role that they might be taking in a familiar, real life situation. So they need to experience what is their role that they are going to do or apply in their real life situation. And the audience is to identify the target whom the students are solving the problem or creating the product for. And the situation, so create the scenario or explain the content, the context of the situation. And the product performance, so a clear picture of what and why of the product creation or the performance. Yeah, so that is the product. So performance or the product, so that is the result of their work or their task. And the standard is to inform student how their work will be assessed by the assumed audience. So that is the grasp. Okay, so are we clear with that, class? Okay, so the grasp model was designed by Grant, Wiggins, and J. McTighe. So, as you can see with the picture, we as a teacher, we need to put our students in a real world situation where they can learn through their own efforts. So that is our obligation as a teacher. So we will train them to work on their own. And they will learn about the road. Kasi tayo bilang mga teachers, so yun naman talaga ang pupunta ng mga students natin to become professional. We will train them how to be responsible in the society. Yan. So, experience a role. So, dyan sila nagsisimula. Paano sila magkaroon ng mga skills in the future. So, class, what are the benefits of GRASP model and why the student need to learn about this? Anyone? Okay, so thank you. That is correct. So by engaging our students to this situation or this task, the GRASP model, so we can help them learn or experience in the real life situation, the role that we are going to give them. Okay, so here are the benefits of GRASP model. So they can develop authentic learning experience. So it has a clear presentation of the purpose and context of a project-based inquiry. So, yan, nakikita nila mismo kung ano yung magiging content na project-based or yung kanila magiging performance. Kasi when it comes to performance, so mas mabigat siya kaysa dun lang sa nai-imagine lang nila na maging role nila. Okay? So, clarify the rules, perspective, and responsibilities of student. So, nakikita nila mismo yung kanilang roles and perspective and responsibilities. And communicate the expectation of the inquiry. Guide the selections. So, as a teacher, so we need to show them what is going to be. So, ano yung mararating ng kanilang magagawa nila. So, by showing them the criteria, the standards. Okay? So, here is the sample of constructing a task scenario. Uh, so you can, or your student can create another public awareness campaign to relate to real world situation. So this is the sample. So a while ago, while we are doing the first activity, so this is one of the scenario that we have already um, created. Okay. So class, with the same group as we did, like we did earlier. So each group will need to think about the public awareness that will connect to GLASS framework. So, katulad sa pinakita kong example kanina. So, ganyan yung gagawin natin. And you need to think another public awareness that relates to education. So mag-isip kayo ng isang scenario na makakatulong, yung magkakaroon sila ng role that can relate to education, the importance of education, or what do they have to do in education. So, you will write it on a Manila paper. So, I think it will cost 10 minutes to do. Okay? So, let's start. Go! So, by the way, class, so for your idea, so this is the idea about the nutrition, the health, or the environment, or the history, or technology, or anything that can help or that can relate to education. So this is the rubrics for this task. Okay, class? Are you done? So, each group will explain. You will choose your leader to explain your work here in front. Okay? Okay, so this is the work of group 1. So group 2, are you agree that this scenario is a GRASS model? Okay. So what about you? Group 2. So group 1, are you agree that this scenario is a GRASS model? Okay. So, by including the GRASS model as your authentic assessment for the students, how can it help them prepare to their real-life situation? Anyone? Okay, so that is correct. One of the most possible benefits of the GRASP model is that our student can be helped to be responsible in life and in community and enhance their social skills. And how does the GRASP model improve your students' the social skills, their social skills? How? Okay, so that is correct. In what ways does GRASP model positively impact learning experience of the students? Okay, that is correct. So class, I hope that you learn the GRASP model. So let us have a little bit recap about what we have been discussed earlier. So what is GRASP model again? What is GRASP model? And what is the meaning of grasp? The grasp. Hmm. So, I have an inspired question to you. What will happen if you do not follow the grasp framework in developing performance tasks? What will happen if you don't follow this? How? That is correct. So, our class will confuse about this task, the task that they need to do it in real life situation. So without grasp, so it's like um, chaotic situation. So parang marangkag siya, rangkag, o kaya gulo-gulo. Yan. No direction. Okay? So, and one of the possible that um, that it has the negative impact is hindi siya magiging fair sa mga students. Okay, class. For our last activity, so we will have our individual activity. So, you need to write an essay in one half crosswise. You will need to answer this. Okay, so for our assignment, please search on the internet about the designing performance tasks aligned with the GRASP model and have your own understanding about its benefit. Write it on one whole sheet of paper. So, okay class. So, thank you for your time. I hope you learn more about the GRASP model. And if you have question before we end, do you have questions about the topic, the GRASP model? Do you have any? Okay, so thank you for your time and goodbye.